Hi, I'm Billi Maddox, and I'm gonna mess this up so that you don't have to.
Hey, what's up everyone? So first of all, I need to say that this was a challenge put forth to me, or we kind of came up with it together, me and Vander's wands. And he was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we did a lightsaber build challenge? And I was like, I'm an intergalactic arms dealer. Do you really want to go there? Anyway, I did, and I'm using pieces like this light knife. You see this right here? This right here? This is a light knife. It's not a lightsaber. It's a light knife. Okay, sorry. Here's the build. I will have to preface this by saying I may say some things that may make some actual sabersmiths angry. And this is the thing. This is my take on a Corran horn lightsaber. Please don't kill me. So we start by what I think can only be described as like a 3D sketching. I'm cutting pieces up, I'm placing things together. There you see half of my light knife that I was like, oh, it would be cool if I used that as the sort of a grip section. And this handle of a dollar store flashlight, those kinds of things. I should say now that if you do want to know what are the things I kind of go looking for when I'm hunting for parts, I will put up a card and a link in the description of a video that I recently did showing you exactly what I look for. So in the sketching phase, I'm literally putting things together, taking stuff apart, figuring out what fits next to what will work. At this point, I really like these pieces, but the overall lightsaber is just real thin. It's also just looking kind of like just a cylinder. And I really wanted to get away from that, especially with this one. It being sort of inspired by the Corran horn, it needed a little more. My brief to myself was I wanted a thin neck, a thin waist, and to have it kind of look like or be inspired by, again, the Corran horn lightsaber, which are super cool and junky looking, which are my favorite. So this is what I settled on. This is my main sort of body piece. The emitter is not yet on there, but I show you this because everything was built around a piece of PVC. So before, when I've made lightsabers, I've kind of connected pieces together as they screw together, right? This one, I kind of opened it up a little bit by putting everything around a center column and then attaching stuff to it, so I don't have to worry about things actually connecting to other things. If they are, if they don't tension fit or anything like that, later on, you'll see how I mechanically connect them by adding greeblies, but also with purpose. So this was actually my seed piece, that black piece near the top. And I'm actually using some rubber pieces that I don't know where I got them from, but I have them in my junk box. And I'm using those pieces to stabilize some of the loose pieces and adding detail. So the next step would be to clean up all of your PVC parts. A lot of these things have writing on them and stuff like sizings, and I don't know what it is. I ain't no plumber, okay? So what I do is kind of scrape them off. You can sand them off, but I find this is the quickest and easiest. Just be very careful. You do have to load up a fresh, very sharp blade for it to be buttery easy, so be careful. I also wanted to incorporate a bit of actual metal, even though, in my gradual step up to a full metal build at some point, not in the near future, I wanted to incorporate some metal. I love this sort of copper piece here to sort of act as a sort of emitter thing in the emitter. I end up going with one that's a bit wider. It just looked better to me. And with this sort of two sort of sleeved pieces of PVC, what I wanted to do is kind of a step down like you see here to get my thin neck, but it not be a harsh kind of cut to a thin neck, you know? Kind of wanted it to step down. Does that make sense? I don't know what I just said. Anyway. I also have this piece here. I think it might be from a hard drive or something. I'm not entirely sure. But I'm going to smooth this down and shave this off so that it can sit flush there. And you'll see me glue that in a little later, just as a little cap to my pommel. So I love these. I got a big bag of these red knurled knob things. That's all it is. And I'm putting this one off center. I don't know why I wanted to go with a sort of off center emitter, but anyway, I did. I did a little bit of masking, and here I am just spraying on the primer black. And I do a black first because I'm gonna do a silver over it, and it always looks better over black. Hey, it's weekend me. I'm leaving that in. Hey, it's weekend me. I don't know what the hell just happened. But this is where, is that so close? This is where, you too close, man. This is where it gets good, right? Because right now this looks like a stick, just a black stick. And before that, it just looked like a collection of pipes. So this is when it will start to pick up and start to feel real. So this is the fun part. So let me show you after I spray. Okay, let's try to do this. Now silver spray paint is really, it goes on pretty even and pretty quickly. So, you know, always quick spurts. Look at that. Just a dusting. That's all you need. I'm gonna hit it here in the front. See how far I am? Quick dusting. See that? I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna come back and do the other side. And here we are, all silver. We're getting there. And as always, just a tip, give your rattle cans a little warm water bath before you use them to ensure you have the finest mist possible, and that'll give you the best coverage possible. So let's take off some masking. Now these were, if you'll remember, from just a few minutes ago. What's wrong with you? You don't remember? I'm sorry. These are rubber pieces, so I didn't want any paint to get on these rubber pieces because it's not gonna stay. It's not gonna stick. It's just not. It'll crackle. It'll flake off. So, and I wanted them black. So why? They were masked from the start before I even did the base coat, just to keep them 100% clear from any paint on them. These rubber pieces here. Now I use a Swiffer here because when you're taking off tape that has silver spray paint on, when you're taking off masking tape, it tends to flake. And I find that if you were to brush it off with your hand, the oils on your hand kind of activate the paint and it will just stay wherever you touched it. So I use a Swiffer because it's, you know, you could use like a really soft makeup brush as well. To just knock that stuff off without having any fear of, reactivating it. Now here are some sort of knurled little metric knobs that I use. I'm going to be using those that you see here. This is some of the paints that I'll be using. I did not use that metallic blue. I did not do any bluing to this. After I did the weathering, I kind of just thought, this looks good. I didn't want to go any further. Sometimes plans change. I also have these, like, I think they're upholstery upholstery fucking nails or whatever. And they're of a sort of coppery, brassy color. So I thought I could use that somewhere. So here we have our step down little thin neck. Here we have our thin waist. This will be painted all in black, and the grip section, but you'll see that in a sec. Let's load some gold. And I'm just going to do this ring here in gold. I'll then later apply some weathering to it, just some washed out black, some watered down blacks to it to kind of darken it, give it a bit more of a a bit closer to a brass or copper sort of feel, so it's not so gold. There's something about me that does not like gold, like just straight up gold on lightsabers. I'm not sure if this is canon, but supposedly gold, or electrum in the universe, was only meant for grandmasters of the Jedi Council. And I just don't feel like I deserve that. Is that crazy? Anyway, I don't like it. So you'll see I do some gold here because the Corran horns are kind of junky, so they're made of different sort of metals and things, found objects and things, so that's what I'm trying to replicate. But it will be sort of darkened up, and it'll take on a bit more of a coppery, sort of brassy kind of color, which I ended up really liking in the end. Now here I go, just painting this grip section all in black. At first I was just gonna do just this grip section and leave the threaded bits in silver, as you see there, and I didn't like it. It's a little too much black, silver, black, silver, black, silver, So I ended up painting that whole thing in black. Again, you'll see that in a sec. Now I'm just adding just a watered down black, just to get into all the little nooks and crannies of the knurling, and giving it a bit of wear, and then also along the edge where it connects to the saber, because that was masked off. There's a little bit of exposed PVC there. So I'm just doing a little pilot hole here, loading up my bit into my Dremel. I didn't want to take my drill out, and I think my battery's probably dead. And just adding this knurling. Now, this is one of those pieces that's kind of free floating along that center core or column. So this is now mechanically attached. So even though it wasn't moving before, it definitely won't move now. Because it's mechanically attached. It's also adding a greebly, but this is all by design. I knew that this was going to happen, and that's what I wanted to happen. This is another piece that wasn't tension fit or sort of threaded in, so I've just mechanically added it on there and added some greeblies, Now here we are. Here's that kind of upholstery nail or whatever it is. Just adding that as a little detail to the emitter here. And just gluing that into place with some CA glue. I did sort of cut the post, I drilled a hole, put it in there. Now, since that grip section is all black, it looked a bit, flat. So I'm just adding a bit of dry brushing to it, just so that it looks like it's been worn, especially around the middle bit of the grip section. I always think about how things are handled when I'm applying weathering. I'm getting kind of more and more subtle in my old age. Weathering a little bit goes a long way. And I look at some of my past stuff, and it's just over weathered, really. And you really just need a little bit to get your eye sort of moving around the piece and call out some panel lines and whatnot. Here at the very top of the emitter, or very foredge, or whatever you want to call it, I did sort of go a little bit heavier, but again, it's all wiped off. But I did want a remnant of kind of scorching. I didn't go with the bluing on this. I don't know why, but once I got to the end, I didn't want it. I really liked how it looked just with the dark scorching. So now it's time to apply the little pommel cap here at the end. Very easy. It's flush. It's got a lip where it doesn't really want to move. And that's my pommel. And again, like I said, the you see the weathering looks great. There's that bigger sort of copper piece. And this is what I mean by the activation switch or button is off center. This is how you should be looking down at your saber, and that's how you turn it on. So it's off center. I kind of liked it. I like off center. And let's give you some beauty shots now. I'll shut up so you can enjoy this. And that's pretty much it. Thanks so much to Vander's Wands for, this cool little fun challenge. Go and check out his video. It'll be linked down in the description. If not, it will be soon. We're trying to upload at the same time, but who knows? I will definitely link him, and I will be promoting it as well as he will be promoting mine. Hey, if you wanted to get in on this challenge, make a lightsaber. Watch his video, watch my video, go out there and make one, submit it, tag us in it, or I don't know, somehow get it over to us and we'll take a look at it. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Roll the thing.